You have come through another long day to be here, and now there is nothing left to do but set the whole of it down, the noise and the weight and the brightness of it, and let yourself begin to drift. Tonight I'm going to take you to the edge of the sea, to a wild and lonely coast where the dark water meets the dark land, and there I'm going to tell you a softer story than the ones that came before, a story of longing and of two worlds, and of a woman who belongs to both and wholly to neither. So, let your eyes grow heavy, let your breathing slow until it matches the slow breathing of the tide, and follow me along the silver thread and the single drifting rose petal, out of the waking world and toward the velvet coast in the night. The petal rides the night wind ahead of you, deep red and velvet soft, out across the wide dark country, and as it goes, you begin to hear a sound gathering beneath the wind, low and slow and endless, the deep breathing of the sea. The thread leads you on toward it, and the land begins to change beneath your drifting feet, the soft earth giving way to cool sand and beach grass, the warm inland air turning cool and damp and rich with salt. And then the country opens, and the sea is before you, vast and dark and slow, breathing in and breathing out against the shore, the long waves rolling in from somewhere beyond, all seeing and sliding up the wet sand and sliding back, over and over, in a rhythm so old and so even that your own breath cannot help but follow it. You stand at the edge of it, the cool salt wind in your face, the dark water breathing before you, and you feel the whole of the day begin to wash gently away on the tide. It is a wild coast, this one, far from any town, a long lonely sweep of dune and sand and dark rock where the land gives itself slowly to the water. The dunes rise soft behind the beach, crowned with pale grass that hisses gently in the wind, and the rocks lie scattered along the tide line, dark and smooth and old, worn round by ages of the breathing sea. There is a wide pale sky overhead, hung with the dim soft glow of the velvet hour, neither day nor night, but the long blue dusk that the hour lives in, and beneath it the sea stretches out dark and endless toward a far horizon you cannot quite find. The cool wind moves steadily off the water, carrying the deep clean smell of salt and seaweed and the far cold places the sea has come from, and it is a smell that reaches down past all thought and stirs something very old and very deep. You breathe it in, the cool salt air, and feel it fill you, and feel something in you turn, without quite knowing why, toward the dark breathing water. The sound of the sea is the deepest thing about this place, deeper even than the cold and the salt, a slow, fast breathing that fills the whole of the dark coast and will not let you go. It comes in long, even waves, the swell rising far out in the dark and rolling slowly in, the soft rush as it spends itself upon the sand, the long sighing draw as it slides back to gather and rise and come again. There is no end to it and no beginning. It has been breathing so since long before any house stood on the shore, and will breathe so long after, and to stand within it is to feel yourself held inside something far older and larger than yourself. Your own breath cannot help but follow it, slowing, lengthening, matching the long, slow rhythm of the tide, in as the wave gathers, out as it spends, until you're breathing with the sea itself. Let it breathe you towards sleep, the way it has breathed the shore towards sleep for 10,000 years, the slow, vast lullaby of the deep water in the dark. The cool of the night settles soft over the coast, and it is a clean cool, a living cool, nothing like the chill of a cold room or a hard day, only the gentle coolness of sea moves over your skin and through your hair, steady and soft, carrying always the deep clean smell of the water, the salt and the seaweed, and the far cold places the sea has wandered. The pale beach grass on the dunes hisses gently in it, a soft dry whisper beneath the slow breathing of the waves, and the dark rocks along the tide line glisten faintly where the spent water has touched them and withdrawn. It is a wild place, and a lonely one, and yet there is nothing fearful in its wildness or its loneliness, only a vast soft peace, the peace of a place left to itself at the edge of the world. You stand within it and feel the smallness of yourself against the great dark sea and sky, and the smallness is a comfort rather than a fear, the comfort of being a small warm thing held in something endless. Overhead, the wide pale sky of the velvet hour stretches from the dark dunes to the dark sea, neither day nor night, but the long blue dusk the hour lives in, soft and dim and endless. There are no harsh stars in it, and no glaring moon, only the gentle, even glow that lies over all the velvet hour, the light of a world held forever in the last soft moment before sleep. It lies pale on the long rolling waves, catching their dark curves as they rise, and spending itself as they break, so that the whole sea seems to shift and glimmer faintly under the dim soft sky. The horizon, where the dark sea meets the dim sky, is soft and uncertain, blurred by distance and dusk, so that you cannot quite tell where the water ends and the heavens begin. It is a sky to rest beneath, a sky that asks nothing, and offers only its soft, dim, endless calm, and beneath it the sea breathes on, and the cool wind moves, and the wild coast holds its long blue peace. You could stand a long while in the soft, dim dusk at the edge of the breathing water, and feel the day wash from you wave by wave, and want for nothing more than this. There is a deep ease in a wild and lonely place at the edge of the sea, an ease that comes from the bigness of it, from the way the great slow breathing of the water makes all your small worries smaller still, until they slip from you and are carried off on the tide. Let them slip from you now. The cares and the weights of the long day, the way the spent wave slips back into the dark, gathered up and carried away into the deep. The sea will take them, the way the sea takes everything in the end, gently, slowly, without effort, breathing them out into the vast cold dark where they cannot trouble you anymore. Let yourself stand empty and easy at the edge of the breathing water, light now, unburdened, held in the soft, dim peace of the velvet coast. And there, above the tide line, where the soft dunes meet the sand, you see the small, warm shape of a house, the one human warmth in all that wild coast. It is a low cottage of grey stone, weathered by the sea wind, with a roof gone soft with moss, and a single window glowing warm and cold against the blue dusk. Smoke rises from its chimney, thin and pale, bending sideways in the steady wind, and the warm cold light from its window falls out across the cool sand toward the water. It is a small thing against the vastness of the sea and the sky, that one warm glowing house, and there is something brave and tender in it, the way it holds its small warmth against all that cold, wild dark. And it is there, the thread tells you, in that small warm house above the breathing sea, that the woman lives whose story this is, the woman who belongs to the water and lives instead on the land. Her name is Saoirse, and you find her at the window of the small warm house, looking out as she so often looks toward the dark and breathing sea. She is a woman of middle years, though there is something ageless in her, something like one always half listening to a sound no one else can hear. Her eyes are the deep grey of the sea under cloud, and they rest now on the dark water with a look that is hard to name, a look of love and of longing and of a sorrow so old and so gentle it has become simply a part of her. She stands at the warm cold window with the wild dark coast before her, and she watches the sea breathe in and breathe out, and something in the whole still set of her tells you, before you know a single thing about her, that she does not wholly belong to the shore she stands upon. For there is a wrongness in her being here, a gentle wrongness, and you feel it the longer you watch her at the window. It is nothing you could point to, nothing said or shown, only the way she turns always, always towards the water, the way her grey eyes follow the long roll of the waves, the way her whole self seems to lean, even in stillness, toward the dark breathing sea. She is a creature of the deep water, living in a house of stone, a thing of the cold wild sea, warming herself at a small land fire, and though she has made her peace with it, though she has built a life here and loves it, the deep wrongness of it never quite leaves her. You can feel it in her, the soft constant ache of belonging to a place she cannot reach, of being held gently from the one home her deepest self was made for, and the sea, breathing in and breathing out beyond the warm cold window, seems to feel it too, seems to call to her across the dark, low and endless and patient, the way the sea has always called to those who came from it. You feel it too, all of it, because in the velvet hour you and Saoirse are very nearly the same, standing together at the warm window between the land and the sea. There is nothing here that wishes you harm, nothing that asks anything of you, only the cool salt wind and the warm cold light and the slow deep breathing of the dark water. Let the sea breathe you towards sleep the way it breathes against the shore, slow and even and endless, in and out, the oldest lullaby there is. Let the cool salt air fill you, let the warm cold window hold you, let the soft constant ache of the woman at the glass be only a gentle wistfulness in you, rather than any sorrow that could trouble your rest. The sea breathes on in the dark, the small house glows warm against the wild. The woman watches the water with her sea grey eyes, and something very old in you turns gently toward the deep. Sink into the slow breathing hush of the velvet coast, and let yourself drift, as the first night settles, soft over the woman who belongs to the sea. The warmth of the small stone house is real and dear, and Saoirse has built it carefully over long years. And to understand her longing, you must first understand how much she loves the life she made. For she was not always of the land, that is the deep truth of her. She came out of the sea long ago, in the way her kind have always come, slipping from the cold water onto the warm sand, in a form the land could love. And on the land she was found and loved and kept, and out of that finding and that loving, she made a life, a warm, small human life above the tide line, and she has been happy in it, as happy as a creature divided against itself can be. The small house holds the whole of that life, the long years of it, the warmth and the tenderness and the ordinary sweetness, and she moves through it now in the warm cold light with the ease of one long at home. The one who found her long ago found her on the shore in the grey light of an early morning, and loved her at once, the way you love a thing you know you were always meant to find, and the love between them has been a good love, a true one, warm and steady and kind, deepened by all the long years they have shared in the small house above the sea. It is not the bright hot love of new lovers. It is something better and quieter than that. the dark with the easy tenderness of long habit. Saoirse loves the one who found her, deeply and truly, and is loved in return, and the love is the warm gold centre of all her life on land, the thing that has made the long exile from the sea bearable, sweet even, through all the years. There is a married warmth between them, the soft, sure comfort of a love grown old and easy, and it fills the small house like the warmth of the fire. It is a love made of small things, mostly, as the deepest loves so often are, of the countless tiny tendernesses that gather over years into something vast. It is the warm cup set ready in the morning, the chair drawn close to the fire, the quiet word that is not a word at all, but only a touch in passing, a hand resting briefly on a shoulder, a look across the warm room. It is the long, companionable silences of two who no longer need to fill the quiet, who can sit together by the fire on a cold sea night and say nothing at all, and be perfectly content. It is the warm nearness in the dark of the long nights, the easy turning toward one another, the comfort of a familiar warmth in the bed, the deep, settled peace of a body long known and long loved. These are the threads the long love is woven of, and they have been woven so close over the years that the love has become less a feeling now than a place, a warm home she lives inside. The small house holds the whole of that love, and she moves through it in the warm, cold light with the ease of one who has made every inch of it her own. She knows the worn smooth places on the wooden table, the particular creak of the old door, the way the firelight falls across the room in the evenings, the soft sounds the house makes settling in the wind. She has tended it over the years. The small house has made it warm and soft and lived in, has filled it with the small comforts that turn a shelter into a home. There is the deep chair by the fire that is hers, worn to the shape of her, and the warm bed under the low window, and the hearth that has cooked 10,000 warm meals, and the window that looks always out toward the sea. It is a small kingdom, this little house above the tide line, and she has been its warm and gentle queen for all the long years, and she loves it, every worn and warm and weathered inch. And the days of her land life have been good days, the warm ordinary days that gather one upon another into a life. There has been the work of the shore, the gathering and the mending, the long walks on the wet sand, the watching of the weather roll in grey and wild off the water. There has been the smell of bread baking and wood smoke on the cold air, and salt always, the salt of the sea worked into the very stones of the house, and the cloth of her clothes, and the warm skin of her hands. There has been the slow turning of the seasons over the coast, the wild storms of winter, when the sea threw itself against the shore, and the small house held warm and safe against it, the soft, long evenings of summer, when the dusk lingered for hours over the water. It is the texture of an ordinary life, warm and worn and real, and she has loved the whole of it, has been grateful for the whole of it, has made her warm small peace with the land that took her in, for she has been happy here. That is the truth that makes the longing ache, as happy as a creature divided against itself can ever be. The land love has filled her warm cold days with sweetness. The long companionship has eased the loneliness of her exile. The small warm house has held her safe against the wild, and she has wanted, through most of her long years, for nothing more. She has smiled at the warm window, and turned back to the warm fire 10,000 times, has let the call of the sea wash over her and recede, has chosen, day after day after day, the warm dear life of the land. the small house above the tide line. This is no tale of a captive longing to escape a cruel keeping, you understand. It is the tale of a woman who loves a warm, true home and longs beneath the loving for another home she also cannot forget. It is that, exactly, that, the realness of the warmth that you must feel before the longing rises. For a longing for the sea would mean little if the land held nothing worth the staying. It is because the land holds so much, the love, the warmth, the long sweet years, the small dear house against the wild, that the pull of the sea aches so gently and so hard. Let yourself rest in the warmth of it now, the warm gold fire, the long easy love, the small worn home full of years, the deep settled peace of a life truly lived and truly loved. Let it hold you the way it holds her, warm and sure and dear, before any longing comes to stir beneath it, so that you may feel, as she feels, how much there is to love on the warm land side of her divided heart. The fire breathes low and cold, the long love rests near in the dark. The small house holds its sweet, warm years, and beneath it all, faint and patient, the sea breathes on. The days of her land life have been good days, the warm, ordinary days that make up a life, and she has come to cherish them in all their small sweetness. There has been the warmth of the hearth on cold sea nights, the smell of bread and wood smoke, the soft, worn comfort of a home made together over years. There has been the work of the shore, the mending and the gathering, the long walks on the sand, the watching of the weather come in off the water. There has been the quiet companionship of the one who loves her, the shared meals, the shared silences, the warm nearness in the dark of long nights. It is a small life and a quiet one, far from the noise of the wider world, but it is a true life, a warm one, full of the ordinary tenderness that is the deepest sweetness there is, and Saoirse has loved every warm small year of it. And yet, beneath all the warmth, even in the midst of all her contentment, there has always been the other thing, the deeper pull, the sea reaching for her even as she warmed herself at the land fire. For she was made of the deep water, and a thing made of the deep water does not forget it, however warm the land, however dear the love. Even in the happiest of her warm land days, there has been a part of her that stood always at the window, that turned always toward the breathing sea, that listened always for the low, endless call of the deep. She has lived with it so long that it has become simply a part of her, the soft, constant ache beneath the warmth, the longing that never quite left her, even in the arms of the one she loves. It is not that the land love is not enough. It is that she is two things at once, a creature of the sea and a woman of the shore, and only half of her can ever be at home at any one time. She has hidden the longing well over the years, hidden it even from the one who loves her, for she would not have her ache become his sorrow, would not have her divided nature trouble the warm life they built. She has smiled at the warm window, and turned back to the warm fire, has let the call of the sea wash over her and recede, has chosen, day after day, year after year, the warm land love over the cold sea home, and the choosing has been real and true, and she does not regret it, for the love is real, and the warmth is real, and the life is dear, but the longing has not gone, could never go, for it is written into the deepest part of her, into the blood and the bone of the sea creature she has always been beneath the woman she became, and on the still nights at the warm cold window it rises in her gentle and strong. This warm life on land is the heart of the matter, you understand, the warm dear thing that makes the longing ache For a longing for the sea would be a small thing if the land held nothing worth staying for. It is because the land holds so much. The warmth, the love, the long sweet years, that the pull of the sea is so bittersweet, so gentle, so hard. She is not a prisoner longing to escape. She is a woman who loves two homes and can live wholly in only one. And the soft sorrow of that is the truest thing in all her story. Let yourself feel the warmth of it, the dear small life, the long love, the warm cold house against the wild, before the longing rises, so that when it rises, you will feel it as she feels it, as the ache not of a captive, but of one who loves too much and is divided in her loving. The fire breathes warm on the hearth. The love sleeps near in the dark. The small house holds its long, sweet years, and beneath it all the sea breathes on, patient and endless, calling. And on this night, as you drift with her in the warm, cold house, the deeper pull begins, very softly, to stir. She lies warm in the dark beside the one who loves her, in the deep, settled warmth of long love, and she should be wholly content, and for a while she is. But beneath the warmth, beneath the contentment, the sea is reaching for her, the low, endless call rising gently through the dark, and she feels it stir in her blood the way it has stirred 10,000 times before. She lies very still in the warmth and listens to it, the deep breathing of the water beyond the walls, the patient, endless call of the home she came from, and she feels the soft old ache rise in her, gentle and strong. Let it rise gently in you too, the soft wistful pull beneath the warmth. Nothing sharp, nothing sorrowful enough to wake you, only the oldest longing there is, stirring soft in the warm dark as the sea breathes on. Sink into the warm cold hush of the life on land, and let yourself drift, even as the deep sea begins, softly to call. The pull of the sea grows through the warm, still nights, until it is no longer a soft stirring beneath the warmth, but a deep and constant ache, the whole of her old sea nature rising to answer the call of the deep. Saoirse feels it in her blood, a tide of her own that rises and will not fall, a longing so deep and so old that it seems to come from beneath her very self, from the cold green deeps she was made in, long before she was ever a woman on a shore. It is not a wish, exactly, not a thought she could argue herself out of. It is a pull, bodily and absolute, the way the tide is pulled by the moon, the way the bird is pulled south in the autumn, a thing written into her past, all choosing. And it has grown, this longing, grown beyond the gentle ache she carried so long, grown until it fills her warm land nights and draws her, again and again, from the warm bed and the warm fire, out into the cool dark toward the breathing water. She walks the tide line in the warm dark of these nights, drawn from the house by the call she can no longer still, and the walking is both a torment and a comfort to her. The cool sand is firm and damp beneath her bare feet, the salt wind moves through her loose hair, and the sea breathes before her. Near now, so near, the long dark waves rolling up the sand toward her and sliding back. She walks at the very edge of the water, where the spent waves reach their farthest and touch her feet with cold foam before withdrawing. And the touch of the cold sea water on her skin is almost unbearable in its sweetness, the nearest she can come to the home she cannot reach. For she can stand at the edge of the sea, can let it touch her feet, can breathe its cold, clean breath, but she cannot go into it, cannot return to the deep, cannot become again the sleek, swift creature she was made to be. And the so nearness of it is the heart of her ache, for she knows the way her kind always know, as she is, not in this landform, this woman's shape that the shore made her wear. To go back to the deep, she would need her sealskin, the soft grey skin she shed long ago when she first slipped onto the sand, the skin that is her true form and her only way home, the skin that would let her become again a creature of the water. And the skin is gone from her, has been gone for all her long years on land, taken and hidden away in the time when she was found and loved and kept, hidden so that she could not leave, so that she would stay, so that the love that found her could hold her. She does not blame the one who hid it, for it was done out of love, out of the fear of losing her, and she chose to stay, chose the land love over the cold sea year after year. But the skin is hidden still, somewhere near, somewhere in the small house or the dunes or the dark, and without it she is held on the land as surely as a bird with its wings bound, free to walk the tide line and never to fly. The longing and the knowing together make a soft, constant sorrow in her, the sorrow of one who can see her home across the water and cannot reach it, who can hear it call and cannot answer. She stands at the edge of the breathing sea in the warm dark and feels the whole of her divided nature at once, the warm land love at her back in the glowing house, the cold sea home before her in the breathing dark, and herself caught between them, belonging to both and able to live wholly in neither. It is the gentlest of torments, for there is no cruelty in it, no villain, no malice, only love on every side, the love that found her and kept her, the love she bears the one who hid her skin, the deep old love she bears the sea itself. And that is what makes it ache so, that everything in it is love, that she is torn not between good and evil, but between two goods, two homes, two halves of her own divided heart. She knows the tide line now as well as she knows the small house, every dark rock and pale curve of it, every place where the sand goes soft, and every place where it goes firm. She walks it slow in the warm dark, barefoot at the very edge of the water, where the spent waves run their last thin reach up the sand, and touch her feet with cold before sliding back. The cold of the sea on her skin is the nearest she can come to home, and she lingers in it, lets the foam wash over her feet and withdraw and wash again. The cold, clean kiss of the water she came from and cannot return to. Each touch of it sends a deep ache through her, a sweet, unbearable ache, the body's memory of the deep, the blood's longing for the cold green dark beyond the breaking waves. She stands at the edge of it and lets the sea touch her and withdraw, touch her and withdraw, and the longing rises and eases with the rhythm of the waves, gentle and endless and deep, for the sea is so near and so far, and the so nearness of it is the heart of all her ache. She can wade out to her knees in the cold, dark water, can feel it rise around her, can taste the salt of it on her lips and the spray of it on her face, and still she cannot go home, cannot slip beneath the breaking waves, and become again the swift, sleek creature of the deep. The home she longs for is right there before her, close enough to touch, close enough to taste, vast and dark and breathing in the night, and the want of it fills her so completely that some nights she could weep with it. She does not weep, for she has lived with the ache too long for tears. It has worn smooth in her over the years into something quieter than grief, a deep, soft, constant longing that is simply a part of her now, like the grey of her eyes or the salt in her hair. But on these nights, with the sea so near and the call so strong, the old smooth ache sharpens, and she feels the she has not seen it in so many years, the cold green world beneath the waves that was her first and truest home. She remembers, in the deep, wordless way her kind remember, the swift, sleek freedom of it, the cold, clean water sliding past, the long dives down into the dark, the soft green light far above, the whole vast, silent world of the deep that she was made to move through. She remembers what it was to be wholly herself, wholly free, wholly at home, before she ever slipped onto the warm sand and took the shape the land would love. And the remembering aches in her, for it is the memory of a wholeness she has not known in all her warm land years, a self entire and free that she traded, willingly, for the warmth of the land and the love that found her there. She does not regret the trade, and she aches for what she traded, both at once, and that is the whole of her divided heart. The sea calls to her through all of it, low and endless and patient, the way the sea has always called to those who came from it and cannot return. It is not a sound, exactly, not a thing the ears could catch. It is deeper than sound, a pull in the blood, a tide within her answering the tide without, the deep calling to the deep. She feels it strongest on these warm, still nights when she walks the tide line alone, the great dark water breathing before her, the cold foam touching her feet, the whole vast deep reaching for her across the breaking waves, and she stands at the edge of it, between the warm dark house at her back and the cold dark sea before her, and she lets the call wash through her, the longing rise and ache and ease, the deep old pull of the home she lost. It is the gentlest torment there is, and the most beautiful, the longing of a divided heart for a home it can see and cannot reach. This is the soft melancholy centre of the whole tale, and you may rest in it the way you rest in a sad and lovely song, for there is nothing sharp in this sorrow to wake you. Let the longing move through you the way it moves through her, rising and easing with the breathing of the waves, the deep old ache of home, the sweet, bitter-sweet pull of a heart that loves two worlds. Let the sad sweetness of it carry you deeper rather than trouble you, the way a beautiful sorrow in music can soothe even as it aches, the way the sea itself is at once the loneliest and the most comforting sound there is. The waves roll in and slide back, the cold foam touches and withdraws, the great deep breathes and calls, and the woman stands at the edge of her two worlds, aching gently, longing softly, held between the warm land and the cold, welcoming sea. This is the soft, melancholy centre of the whole tale, the gentle, bitter-sweet longing that is its truest mood, and you may rest in it the way you rest in a sad and beautiful song. There is nothing sharp in this sorrow to wake you, only the soft, wistful ache of longing, the deep, old pull of home, the gentle grief of a heart divided between two loves. Let it move through you, gently, the way the cold foam moves over her feet and withdraws, the longing rising and easing, with the slow breathing of the sea. Let the sad sweetness of it carry you deeper rather than trouble you, the way a beautiful sorrow in music can soothe even as it aches, the way the sea itself can be at once the loneliest and the most comforting sound there is. The waves roll in and slide back, the cool foam touches and withdraws, the woman stands at the edge of her two worlds, and the longing breathes through her, soft and old and deep, and as she stands there in the warm dark at the edge of the breathing water with the longing full upon her, she feels for the first time something new beneath it, a faint pull of a different kind. It is not the call of the sea, it is something nearer, something landward, a soft insistent tug at the edge edge of her sense, as though something hidden were calling to her almost as strongly as the deep. The silver thread that runs still from her heart out into the dark has begun to glow a little brighter, to pull a little, not toward the water, but back toward the dunes, the house, the hidden places of the land. And she understands, slowly, with a catch of something between hope and fear, what the new pull means, that her skin is near, that the soft grey skin, which is her only way home, is somewhere close, somewhere waiting, and that the thread has begun to lead her toward it. Let that faint new pull glow soft in you as you drift, the sense of the hidden thing waiting near, the first stirring of the turn that is coming. Sink into the longing and the soft new hope beneath it, and let yourself drift as the thread begins, gently, to lead Saoirse toward her hidden skin. The new pull grows through the warm dark nights, the soft insistent landward tug that is not the sea's call, but something nearer, and Saoirse follows it the way she has learned to follow the thread. It leads her not toward the water now, but back into the dunes, into the small house, into the old hidden places of the land life she has lived so long, and she goes where it leads, with her heart beating soft and quick, for she knows what it is leading her toward, knows it the way she has always known the deep things, and the knowing fills her with a longing so sharp and so trembling she can scarcely breathe. Her skin is near, the soft grey skin she shed so long ago, the skin that was taken and hidden out of love, the skin that is her true form and her only way home, is somewhere close, and the thread is leading her to it at last. She searches in the warm dark, drawn by the thread and by the deep old pull, through the small house and its long kept secrets. She searches the way one searches for a thing long lost and never forgotten, every sense awake, the old longing guiding her hands, and at last, in a place where it had lain hidden all the long years, tucked away in the deep dark where she would not find it, where the love that kept her had placed it, so that she would stay, she finds it. Her hands close upon something soft and grey and supple, something that smells of salt and cold green water and the deep places of the sea, something that sends a shock of recognition through the whole of her the instant she touches it. It is her skin. It is her own true sealskin, the soft grey pelt she wore in the deep, the form she shed to walk the land, kept hidden all these years, and found at last, and the feel of it beneath her hands is like the feel of her own lost self returned to her. She draws it out into the warm gold light, trembling, and holds it, and the holding is the deepest and the strangest feeling she has ever known, for the finding of it is not a triumph and not a theft. It is a reunion, a trembling reunion with a lost part of herself, and she feels it so the moment the skin is in her arms. She holds the soft grey skin against her, and she feels all at once the whole of her two natures, the woman of the land and the creature of the sea, the warm life she built and the cold home she lost, both of them rising in her together, both of them true. The skin in her arms is the sea, is the deep, is the swift, sleek freedom of the cold green water, is the home she has ached for through all her long land years, and the warm gold house around her is the land, is the love, is the long sweet years, is the home she built and cherished and would grieve to leave. She holds both of them at once in the holding of the skin, and the soft, impossible ache of it fills her, the ache of a heart that loves two homes and must, at last, choose. The skin is warm in her arms, warmer than she had imagined a thing so long hidden could be, as though it had kept some heat of her own self in it through all the years apart. It is soft, beyond any softness of the land, soft the way only the deep can make a thing, supple and smooth and alive beneath her hands, and the touch of it sends memory flooding through her, memory older than words. She presses her face into it, and the smell of it undoes her. The deep, clean smell of cold green water and salt, and the far places of the sea. The smell of her own first self, the smell of home. All the years of her land life seem to thin and fall away in that one breath, and she is, for a trembling moment, wholly the creature of the deep again, wholly herself, wholly free. And then the warm cold light of the small house reaches her again, the worn table, the low fire, the long love sleeping near, and she is the woman of the land once more, and the two selves war and ache within her. She has not let herself touch the longing, this nearly in all her years, has kept it at the edge of herself, a thing felt but never held, and now it is in her very arms, soft and real and warm. It changes everything, the holding of it, makes real what was only ever ache and memory, turns the far cold sea from a longing into a possibility, a thing she could choose, a home she could reach. She had lived so long with the longing, precisely because it was impossible, because the skin was gone and the sea was closed to her, and there was nothing to do but ache and stay, and this impossibility had been, in its way, a kind of peace. Now the impossibility is gone, the skin is found, the way home is open, and with the opening of it comes not peace but the hardest thing of all, a choice. She holds the soft grey skin and feels the terrible new freedom of it, the freedom to go, the freedom that means she must now decide. She thinks of the one who hid it as she holds it, and there is no anger in the thinking, only a deep and tender sorrow. It was hidden out of love. She knows that, hidden by one who found her on the shore and loved her and could not bear to lose her, who took the one thing that would let her leave and put it away in the dark so that she would stay. It was not cruelty, it was the oldest fear there is, the fear of losing the thing most loved, and she cannot hate it, for she has felt that fear herself, and because the staying it brought her held so much warmth and so much sweetness, and yet the hiding had cost her too, had kept half of her locked away in the dark along with the skin, had made her, for all the warm years, only ever half herself. She holds the skin and holds the sorrow of it, the love and the cost both, the keeping that was kindness, and was also a cage, however warm, for she understands now, with the skin in her arms, the thing she had not let herself understand in all the long years, that she has been only half herself, a creature of two natures, with one of them locked away in the dark, can never be wholly at peace, can never love with the whole of itself, can never be wholly known even by the one who loves it best. The warm life she built was real and dear, and it was built upon a hidden thing, a locked away half, a wholeness denied to spare a fear, and a part of her had ached beneath all the warmth for all the years because of it. She sees it clearly now, holding the soft grey skin, the warm cold house around her, and the cold green sea beyond, that the true choice before her is not the sea against the land at all, but wholeness against the long warm halving she has lived, and the seeing of it does not make the choice easy, for the cost is dear on every side, but it makes it clear, clearer than anything has ever been. You hold the trembling weight of it along with her, the soft grey skin, the two homes pulling, the warm love and the cold deep, the slow, clear understanding too long denied. Let it move through you gently. The warmth of the skin, the smell of the deep, the pull of the two homes, the clear, slow dawning of what the choice truly is. Let your breath stay long and slow, and feel, beneath the sorrow, the deep, soft rightness of a self about to be made whole. The skin is warm and alive in her arms. The warm fire breathes at her back. The cold sea breathes beyond the walls, and the choice hangs trembling before her, dear and clear and necessary as the tide. She sits a long while in the warm gold light with the skin in her arms, and she does not flee with it, and she does not put it away. She only holds it, and feels and grieves, and hopes. She thinks of the sea, the cold green deep, the swift sleek freedom, the home her deepest self was made for, and has ached for through all the long years. She thinks of the land, the warm fire, the long love, the one who found her and kept her and loves her still, the warm, sweet life she would have to leave behind to answer the call of the deep. And she understands that there is no choosing that does not cost her something dear, that to take the skin and return to the sea is to leave the warm love behind, and to put the skin away and stay is to lock half of her own self away forever, as it has been locked away all these years. The skin is warm and soft and alive in her arms, smelling of the deep, and both worlds pull at her, and the choice hangs before her, unmade, trembling, impossible, and necessary all at once. And in the holding of the skin, in the trembling weight of the choice, she begins to understand something she has not let herself understand in all her long land years. She has been only half herself all this time, has lived all these warm, sweet years with half of her own nature locked away in the dark, and a creature only half itself can never be wholly at peace, can never love wholly, can never be wholly known even by the one who loves it. The love that kept her, that hid her skin, did it out of fear of losing her, and she stayed out of love and out of the loss of her only way home, and the warm life they built was real and dear, and yet it was built on a hidden thing, a locked away half, a wholeness denied. She holds the skin and understands, slowly, that the choice before her is not really between the land and the sea at all, but between staying forever halved and becoming, at last, whole. And the understanding does not make the choice easy, for the cost is still dear, but it makes it clear, clearer than anything has ever been. You hold the trembling weight of the choice along with her, the soft grey skin, the two homes pulling, the impossible, necessary choosing, and yet there is nothing sharp in it to wake you. It is a deep choice, and a sorrowful one, but it is the sorrow of a thing coming right at last, the sorrow that lives in healing, in becoming whole, in answering a call too long denied. Let it move through you gently, the weight of the skin, the pull of the two homes, the slow, clear understanding rising beneath the ache. Let your breath stay long and slow, and feel, beneath the sorrow of the choosing, the deep soft rightness of a self about to be made whole. The skin is warm in her arms, the two homes breathe around her, the warm fire and the cold sea, and the choice hangs trembling, dear and clear and necessary. Sink into the weight of it, and the rightness beneath it, and let yourself drift, as Saoirse holds her found skin, and comes, slowly, to her choosing. The choosing comes to her not as a sudden thing, but as a slow, clear dawning, the way the grey light comes up over the sea before the sun, and there is no villainy in it on any side. She does not flee in the night, does not steal away, does not abandon the one who loves her in anger or in stealth, for that is not the truth of what is happening here. What is happening is gentler understanding that she cannot be whole while half of her is locked away, that she cannot love truly or be truly loved while the deepest part of her is hidden in the dark, that to be wholly herself she must answer at last the call she has denied so long. The choosing is not a betrayal of the land love. It is the only way her love can become true, for a love between two beings is only as true as the wholeness of each, and she has been only half herself for all the long years of that love, and so she does not creep away with the skin in secret. She goes to the one who loves her in the warm gold light, and lets the truth at last be known between them, wordlessly, in the way of this place. There are no words, for there have never been words in the velvet hour, but there does not need to be, for the truth of it passes between them in the holding of the skin, in the look that goes between, in the long love that has known each other past all need of speech. The one who found her and kept her and hid her skin out of fear of losing her understands at last what the keeping has cost her, understands the soft constant ache she has carried so long and hidden so well, understands that to love her truly is to set her free, and there is grief in the understanding, deep grief on both sides, the grief of a parting, the grief of a warm life changing, but beneath the grief there is something else, something that makes the grief bearable, the deep brightness of a love that chooses the beloved's wholeness over its own holding. For the truest love she understands now, and the one who loves her understands too, is not the love that holds and keeps and hides the skin away. It is the love that opens its hands, that gives the beloved back to themselves, that would rather see them whole and free than halved and held. The hiding of the skin had been love too, real love, the love that fears to lose, the love that clings, and there is no shame in it, for it is the most human love there is. But there is a deeper love beyond it, the love that lets go, that frees, that chooses the beloved's truest good over its own comfort. And it is to that deeper love that the two of them come now, in the warm cold light, with the skin between them, and the parting near. It is a hard thing, the coming to it, the hardest thing that love can ask, to open the hands that have held so long, to give the beloved back to themselves, to choose their wholeness over your own keeping. For the one who found her and loved her and hid her skin, it means the undoing of the very thing that fear had done, the unlocking of the door that fear had locked, the letting go of the warm dear nearness that has filled so many years. And it does not come without grief, deep grief, the grief of a parting, the grief of a warm life changing past return, for to love truly is sometimes to lose, and the deepest love is the one that accepts the losing for the beloved's sake. There are no words between them, for there have never been words here, but the grief passes between them all the same, and beneath the grief, slowly, something steadier, the deep sad rightness of a love that has grown large enough to free. She, for her part, feels the grief as keenly as any, for she is not leaving in anger or in coldness, but in love, leaving a warmth she has cherished for years, a home she has loved, a heart she has held dear. To go down to the sea is to leave behind the warm gold house and the long sweet years and the deep settled love, and she knows it, and the knowing aches in her, even as the call of the deep pulls her on. This is what makes the choosing so bittersweet, that she does not choose against the land love, but in spite of how dearly she holds it, that she leaves precisely the thing she would most wish to keep. She has not stopped loving the warm life, will never stop loving it, and yet she cannot stay halved within it any longer, cannot live forever with the deepest part of herself locked away in the dark, and so she chooses, in grief and in love, and in the deep, clear knowledge that she must, the wholeness that costs her the warmth, the becoming that costs her the staying, and the one who loves her, in the end lets her go, and the letting go is the truest act of love in all the tale. There is no clutching at the last, no pleading, no anger, only the opening of the hands, the gift of her own freedom returned to her, the choosing of her wholeness over the warm long keeping. For the one who loves her understands at last the thing that fear had hidden for so long, that she was never wholly his to keep, that a creature of the sea cannot be held on the land without being made less than itself, that to love her truly is to let her be the whole of what she is, and in the understanding there is grief, but there is also a kind of peace, the peace of a love grown to its fullest height, the love that would rather see the beloved free and whole and far than held and halved and near. He lets her go, and in the letting go the long land love is not broken, but raised, transfigured, made into something larger than it ever was while it held her. So the parting, when it comes, is clean and gentle and whole, with no bitterness in it, and no betrayal, only love on every side, and the deep, soft grief of a warm thing changing. Saoirse takes up her soft grey skin and turns toward the sea, and the one who loves her watches her go, not clutching now, but loving, letting her walk down to the water in the deeper way of love. And though there is sorrow in the parting, there is no wound in it, nothing torn, nothing broken, only a warm dear thing transformed into another warm dear thing, a love that held becoming a love that frees. She walks toward the breathing water with her skin in her arms, and her grief and her joy mingled in her, the leaving and the homecoming both, and behind her the warm gold house glows steady and unbroken in the dark, the love she leaves and does not leave. You hold the tender weight of the choosing along with her, the parting made in love, the hands opened, the wholeness chosen, and there is sorrow in it, but nothing sharp enough to wake you. It is the sorrow of a thing coming right, the ache of a healing, the soft clean grief of a love grown large enough to let the beloved go. Let it move through you gently, the grief and the rightness mingled, the leaving and the becoming, the warm love freed rather than broken. Let your breath stay long and slow and feel, beneath the sorrow of the parting, the deep, clear joy of a self about to be made whole at last. The sea breathes before her, welcoming and deep. The warm house glows steady at her back, and Saoirse walks down to the water with her found skin in her arms, free now to go home. She pauses once at the very edge of the water, where the warm land ends and the cold sea begins, and she holds the whole of her two homes in her heart at once. Behind her, the small warm house, the long love, the sweet worn years, and before her, the cold green deep, the swift sleek freedom, the wholeness she is about to win. She does not weep, and she does not waver, for the choice is made, and the rightness of it fills her, but she lets herself feel, fully, the bitter-sweet weight of all she carries, and then she breathes the cold salt air deep into her, and she takes the last step down toward the breathing water, ready at last to become the whole of what she is. It is a sorrowful coming, and a beautiful one. The long land love, not broken, but transfigured, raised from the love that holds into the love that frees. And so the parting, when it comes, is gentle and bittersweet and clean, with no anger in it and no betrayal, only love on every side and the deep sorrow of a warm thing changing. Saoirse takes up her soft grey skin, and she goes down at last to the water, down the cool sand toward the breathing sea, with the one who loves her, watching her go, not clutching, not pleading, but loving, letting her go in the deeper way of love. The wind moves cool through her loose hair, and the cold foam touches her feet, and the sea breathes before her. Near now, so near, the home she has ached for through all the long years, and behind her, the warm gold house glows against the wild. The love she is leaving and not leaving, transforming. She walks down to the edge of the water with the skin in her arms and her two homes at her back and before her, and she feels, beneath the sorrow of the parting, the deep clear joy of a self about to be made, whole at last. She does not look back in grief, for there is no need. The parting is clean, and the love is whole, transfigured into something that can hold her freedom. She looks instead at the breathing sea, the cold green deep, the home that has called her so long, and she feels the old longing rise in her one last time as a longing, before it becomes, at last, an answering. The skin is soft and alive in her arms, smelling of the deep, and the sea breathes before her, patient and endless and welcoming, and she stands at the very edge of the water, at the very edge of her wholeness, ready at last to become again the creature she was made to be. This is the bittersweet heart of it, you understand, the tender choosing made, and the parting clean, the long love freed rather than broken, the divided self about to be made whole. Let the gentle sorrow and the deep joy mingle in you the way they mingle in her, the parting and the homecoming, the leaving and the becoming, both at once, both true. You stand with her at the edge of the breathing sea, the skin in her arms, the warm house at her back, the cold deep before her, and you feel the whole tender weight of the choosing made. There is sorrow in it, the soft clean sorrow of a parting in love, but there is joy in it too, the deep quiet joy of a self about to be whole, and the two together make the bittersweet peace that is the truest feeling in all this tale. Let it carry you the way the tide carries, gently, completely, the sorrow and the joy mingling and easing, the longing about to be answered at last. The sea breathes before her, welcoming and deep. The warm love watches from the glowing house, and Saoirse stands at the edge of the water, with her found skin in her arms, ready to go home. Sink into the bittersweet peace of the choosing made, and let yourself drift, as Saoirse goes down at last to the breathing sea. She goes into the sea, and the going is gentle and complete, and the longing of all her long land years is eased at last in the cold green welcome of the deep. She wades out into the breathing water with her soft grey skin in her arms, and the cold sea rises around her feet and her knees and her waist, and it does not chill her, but welcomes her, the way a home welcomes one long away. And as the water rises, she takes up her skin and becomes again the creature she was made to be, the woman's form giving way to the sleek swift shape of the deep, the land falling away behind her as the sea closes warm and welcoming over her at last. There is no shock in it, and no fear, only the deep brightness of a thing returned to where it belongs, the swift sleek freedom of the cold green water, the home she has ached for through all the long years risen up at last to hold her. She slips beneath the breathing surface into the deep, and the longing that ached in her so long eases and is gone. For the longing is answered now, the divided self made whole, and that wholeness is a peace she has creature risen and answered and at home, and the ache that lived in her so long is eased clean away. But she does not forget the land. She does not lose the warm cold house, or the long love, or the sweet years, for that is the deepest grace of her homecoming, that she need not choose against the land in choosing the sea, for she is whole now, both her natures answered, neither locked away, and a creature made whole is free to move between its worlds, rather than torn between them, free to swim the cold deep and to come, when she wishes, back to the warm shore. The love on land is not broken by her going. It is transformed, freed, made into a love that can hold her freedom, a love she can return to as her whole self, rather than her halved one. The deep itself receives her, the way a mother receives a child come home from far away, with no question and no reproach, only a vast, cold, welcoming embrace. She moves down through the green dark, down past the breaking surface, into the still cold world beneath, and the whole of it folds around her. The cold, clean water sliding past, the soft green light fading above, the deep silence closing over her like a blessing. She had forgotten, in all her warm land years, how it felt to be wholly in her element, to move without weight or effort through the water she was made for, swift and sleek and free, and now it floods back through her all at once, the deep old joy of it. Every motion is easy here, every turn a delight, the cold green deep opening endlessly before her, the home she ached for, through all the long years risen up at last to hold her, the longing that lived in her so long, that sharp sweet constant ache, eases now in the cold welcoming dark, eases and is finally, blessedly gone. And in the easing of it she finds a peace she has not known since long before she ever walked upon the land. For she is whole now, both her natures answered, neither locked away in the dark, the woman of the shore and the creature of the deep at last made one. There is no ache beneath her joy any more, no half of herself crying out from behind a locked door, no longing pulling her always toward a home she cannot reach, for she is in that home now, and the other home waits, warm and open, behind her. The wholeness is a deep, still peace, the peace of a thing entire, the peace of being, at last, all of what one is, and she moves through the cold, green, deep, wrapped in it, easy and free and whole. It is the peace she traded away all those years ago when she slipped onto the warm sand and let half of herself be locked away for love, and she has it back now, and it is sweeter for the long years of its absence, but she does not forget the land. That is the deepest grace of her homecoming. She does not lose the warm cold house, or the long love, or the sweet years she lived above the tide line, for she is whole now, and a whole thing is not torn between its homes, but free to hold them both, free to move between the cold, deep, and the warm shore as her heart should wish. She can swim the green dark and feel the cold, clean joy of it, and she can come when the longing for warmth should move her, back to the shore, back to the small house, back to the long love that set her free. The love on land waits unbroken behind her, transformed, freed, made into a love that can hold her wholeness rather than cage it, a love she can return to now as her whole and peaceful self. She is not leaving the land love behind, she is only ceasing at last to be halved by it, and in the ceasing she finds that she can love it more wholly and more freely than she ever could while she was held. So the resolution is soft and warm and a little wistful. same soft, wistful peace fills you, the peace of a long ache eased, a self-made whole, a love set free. Feel how it has all come round, the longing not denied and not merely indulged but answered, the choice made not against love but for wholeness, the two homes reconciled in one peaceful heart. There is nothing left to ache for here, nothing torn, nothing locked away in the dark, only the deep soft peace of a creature returned to itself, free at last to be the whole of what it is. Let it fill you the way it fills her, the wistful warmth of the homecoming, the deep ease of the longing answered, the soft peace of two homes held at once. Let your breath go as slow and as eased as the breathing of the sea, and sink as deep and as sweet as you have ever sunk toward the warm bottom of sleep. And so, the resolution is soft and warm and a little wistful, the bittersweet peace of a self-made whole and a love set free. She is of the sea again, swift and free in the cold green deep, the longing eased, the wholeness won, and she is of the land still, free to return to the warm shore and the long love whenever the wish should move her, no longer held, no longer hidden, no longer halved. The two homes that pulled her apart for so long are reconciled in her at last, the sea and the land, the freedom and the love, the cold deep and the warm fire, and she moves between them now as a whole and peaceful thing. It is not the bright, clean happiness of a simple tale, where one home wins and the other is left behind. It is something deeper and truer and more grown, the peace of one who has stopped having to choose, who carries both her homes within her, who is, at last, entirely herself. Let the soft, wistful peace of it settle in you, the longing eased, the self-made whole, the love freed rather than broken, both homes held at once. You rest there with her in the cold green deep and the warm cold memory both, and the same soft wistful peace fills you, the peace of a long ache eased, a self-made whole, a love set free. Feel how it has all come round, the longing not denied and not indulged but answered, the choice made not against love but for wholeness, the two homes reconciled in one peaceful divided heart. There is nothing left to ache for here, nothing torn, nothing locked away, only the deep soft peace of a creature returned to itself, free at last to be the whole of what it is. Let it fill you the way it fills her, the wistful warmth of the homecoming, the deep ease of the longing answered, the soft peace of two homes held at once and no longer at war. Let your breath go as slow and as eased as the breathing of the sea, and sink as deep and as sweet as you have ever sunk toward the warm bottom of sleep. And now as Saoirse moves whole and free through the cold green deep, and the warm shore waits behind her unbroken, let me draw you gently back, the way I always do, up out of the story and toward your own waiting rest. The woman of the sea is home at last, whole at last, the longing eased and the love freed, free now to move between her two worlds rather than torn between them. The silver thread runs still from her heart, and it does not end here, for it never ends. It only turns and leads onward, away from the velvet coast and on toward whatever waits next in the country of the velvet hour. Feel for it now, the fine bright line, and follow it gently with your drowsy mind as it turns and leads away, out of the cold green deep and on into the night beyond. The thread leads out and away, but it is not lifted on the wind this time. It is taken up instead by the tide, carried out on the dark breathing water, and away to the north, north and north, over the cold sea toward a far and frozen country. You follow it with your sleepy mind. The fine bright frozen country, a great house stands alone in the snow, warm and strange and full of shadow, and within it a presence lives that may be felt and heard, but never seen by the light of day, a great and gentle one who comes only in the dark. There a woman has agreed to share that house and that presence, on the one condition that she never look upon him by daylight, and the question of who he is and why he may not be seen is the soft hook I will leave glowing in your sleepy mind tonight. The thread rides the tide north toward the frozen country and the great house in the snow, and toward the one who comes only in the dark. For now, the woman of the sea is home and whole, the longing eased, the love freed, both her worlds reconciled at last, and there is nothing left for you to do but rest. Let the frozen country wait in the dark ahead. Let the silver thread ride the tide north. Let the cold sea breathe slow and easy beneath the long blue night, and let yourself sink the rest of the way down into your own warm sleep, knowing that when you return to the velvet hour, I will be here, and we will follow the thread together north to the great house in the snow and find out who it is that comes only in the dark. Sleep well, sleep deep. I will see you tomorrow night. you're still here with me, still drifting somewhere at the soft edge of sleep, then come a little further, for there is one last quiet place I would like to take you before the night is through. There is no story to follow this time, nothing to remember, nothing to wonder about, no thread to lead you on into another tale. There is only a place, a soft and drowsy place at the very bottom of the velvet hour, and the only thing I will ask of you there is that you rest. So let go of the last of the story you carried, let go of the last small effort of listening, and follow me, gently, down into the garden of quiet. The water you have been hearing softens as we go. The forest sounds thinning to a hush, until they fade behind us like a tide going slowly out. You do not have to follow them or hold on to them. You only have to let them go, the way you let everything go at the end of a long day, easily, gratefully, without a thought. They drift away behind you, the sounds of the night, growing fainter and fainter, until there is nothing left of them but the memory of water. And then, not even that, and in the warm hush they leave behind, a place begins, very softly, to open around you, a place I have kept for you at the very bottom of the night. It is a garden, old and soft and secret, and we are nearly there now, you and I, just at the gate of it. The gate of the garden is an old one, low and worn and grown soft with moss, and it stands a little open, the way a thing stands open that has been waiting a long time for someone to come. You do not have to push it or pass through it with any effort. You have only to drift toward it, and it gives way before you, like a held breath let go. And then you are within, and the garden closes its warm walls around you, and the last of the wide cold night is shut gently outside. It is a walled garden, this one, the kind you might find at the very centre of a great sleeping house, where no wind has ever reached and no clock has ever ticked. The walls of it are old grey stone, soft with ivy and years, and they hold a warmth within them, a deep, still gathered warmth, the warmth of a place the cold has never found. The first thing you notice within the walls is the stillness, a stillness so deep and so complete that it seems almost to have a sound of its own, a low, warm hush beneath all hearing. There is no wind here, not the faintest stir of air, so that nothing moves, nothing rustles, nothing sways, the whole garden held in a perfect, windless calm. The warmth lies over it all like a soft weight, the gathered warmth of the old stone walls, the warmth of a long summer evening that never has to end. It settles over your shoulders the moment you enter, warm as a blanket drawn up to the chin, and you feel your shoulders lower beneath it, feel the last small tightness of the day begin to ease away. There is nowhere here you must go, and nothing here you must do, only this warm, still garden opening softly around you, waiting to hold you while you rest. The air of the garden is warm and faintly sweet, heavy with the scent of flowers that have closed themselves for the night, and you breathe it in slowly and feel it fill you. It is the scent of a garden at the deepest part of the evening, when the blooms have folded their petals and let their fragrance settle low and thick over the cool grass. There is the sweetness of roses in it, and something softer beneath, the green, clean smell of leaves and earth and growing things at rest. It is a scent that reaches down past all thought and stirs the oldest memories of safety, of summer evenings long ago, of being small and warm and carried half asleep through a garden in the dark. Breathe it in, slow and deep, and let it fill you with that old warm safety, and breathe it slowly out, and feel a little more of the day leave you with the breath. There is nothing in this warm, sweet air but rest, and it is yours to breathe as deep as you like. Beneath your feet there is grass, soft and cool and deep, the kind of grass you find only in old and tended gardens, grown thick and fine over long years of care. It is cool against your bare feet after the warmth of the air, a gentle, living coolness, and it gives softly beneath each step, deep enough to sink into, soft enough to lie down in. You walk a little way into the garden over the cool, deep grass, slowly, in no hurry at all, letting your feet learn the softness of it, letting the coolness rise up gently through you. There is a path of worn smooth stones that winds through the grass, pale in the dim light, leading you deeper into the garden, and you follow it without thought, drawn gently on. It curves between the sleeping flower beds and beneath the dreaming trees, the worn stones cool and smooth beneath your feet, and you wander along it, the way you wander in a dream, easily, without aim, content simply to be moving softly through the warm dark. The path is in no hurry to arrive anywhere, and neither are you. Over it all hangs the dim, soft glow of the velvet hour, neither moonlight nor candlelight nor the light of any star, only the gentle, even light of a world held forever in the last soft moment before sleep. It lies pale and warm over the garden, soft enough that nothing in it glares or sharpens, soft enough that everything is gentled, blurred a little at the edges, easy on the eyes that are already half closed. By it you can see the shapes of the garden dimly, the soft mounds of the flower beds, the dark still shapes of the trees, the pale winding of the path, all of it hushed and dim and lovely in the low warm light. There are no harsh shadows here, and no bright places, only the one soft even glow lying gently over everything, the light of the velvet hour, the light of rest itself. It asks nothing of your eyes, that soft dim light, and so your eyes may close as fully as they wish, and lose nothing at all, for there is nothing here that must be seen, only felt. Everything in this garden is already asleep, and that perhaps is its deepest comfort of all, for here you are not the only one resting. The flowers have folded themselves closed for the night, their bright colours gone soft and dim, their heads bowed gently on their stems as though they too were drowsing. The great roses have drawn their petals in, the tall lilies have bowed their heavy heads, the small low flowers along the path have closed up tight and tucked themselves down into the cool grass. They sleep all around you, the flowers in their soft dim beds, breathing out their sweetness slowly into the warm still air, dreaming whatever it is that flowers dream in the deep of the night. You move among them gently, the sleeping flowers, and you feel that you are in good company here, among so many quiet sleeping things, and the feeling soothes you further toward your own rest. The trees at the garden's edge are sleeping too, standing tall and still, and dreaming in the windless dark, their leaves hanging motionless from their patient branches. They are old trees, these, broad and deep-rooted, the kind that have stood 100 years and will stand 100 more, and there is a deep calm in them, the calm of living things that are in no hurry at all. Their branches spread wide and low over the garden, soft dark canopies in the dim light, and beneath them the dark is warmer still, deeper still, the safe deep dark of a sheltered place. You could rest beneath one of those great dreaming trees, with its wide branches spread over you like a roof, and feel as safe as a small thing sheltered in the heart of something ancient and kind. The trees breathe slowly, the way old trees breathe, so slowly you can hardly tell, and their slow, deep breathing seems to slow your own, are still and silent in the dreaming trees, their small heads tucked beneath their wings, their tiny hearts beating slow in the warm dark. The bees are at rest in the closed hearts of the flowers, folded away in the soft, dim petals, sleeping out the night in the sweetest of beds. Even the smallest things, the moths and the beetles and the soft green things of the grass, have gone still and quiet, sunk down into their own small rests in the warm earth and the cool grass. The whole garden sleeps, every living thing in it gone soft and slow and still, and you are among them now, one more sleeping thing in the great warm hush, gentle company in the dim and drowsy dark. There is a pool at the heart of the garden, you find, as the winding path brings you gently toward the centre, a small still pool of dark water lying quiet in the grass. It is perfectly still, its surface smooth and dark as a mirror, holding the dim, soft light of the velvet hour without a single ripple to break it. No wind stirs it, no fish disturbs it, nothing at all moves upon it. It only lies there, still and dark and deep, the quietest water you have ever seen. You come to its edge and look down into it, and the stillness of it seems to reach up and into you, smoothing the last small ripples of your own thoughts, the way the water lies, smooth and unbroken. It is a pool to rest beside, this one, a pool whose deep, still calm seems to spread out from it across the whole garden, gathering everything into its quiet. Sit a while beside it, in the cool grass, and let your thoughts go, as still and as smooth and as dark as the quiet water. Near the pool, there is a low stone bench, worn smooth and worn by long years, set among the sleeping flowers where the path curves by the water. It has held the warmth of the day deep in its old stone, the way old stone does, so that it is warm to the touch even now in the deep of the night, warm and smooth and inviting. You could sit upon it or lie along it and feel the gathered warmth of the stone rise up gently into you, the deep, slow warmth of a thing that has soaked up a long day's sun. But the grass is softer still, deeper still, and it is the grass that calls to you now, the cool, deep grass beneath the dreaming trees beside the still, dark pool. So leave the warm stone bench to its own long rest, and find a soft place in the deep, cool grass instead, a place to lie down in at last, at the quiet heart of the garden. So lie down now, in the deep, cool grass, the way you're already lying down in your own warm bed, and let the garden receive you. Feel the grass give softly beneath you, deep and cool and yielding, cradling the whole length of you, holding you the way the warm earth has always held the things that rest upon it. Feel it come up gently around you, soft against your back, soft beneath your head, soft along your arms and your legs, so that you are held on every side by the deep, cool softness of it. There is a faint sweetness rising from the grass and the warm earth beneath it, the green, clean smell of growing things at rest, and it settles over you with the warm, still air. You are lying now at the very heart of the garden of quiet, beneath the dreaming trees, beside the still dark pool, among the sleeping flowers, held in the deep, cool grass, and there is nothing left in all the world that you must do. There is only this, only rest, only the warm, dark garden, holding you close while you sink. Let your body grow heavy now, in the deep, cool grass, the way it is already growing heavy in your warm, soft bed. Let the heaviness begin at your feet, far away at the end of you, a warm, soft weight settling into them, sinking them gently down into the grass. Let it rise slowly up through you, the warm heaviness, into voices that carry so much, and let them grow warm and heavy and loose, the last of their burden sinking away into the grass and the earth, and let it reach your face at last, your jaws softening, your brow smoothing, every small held tightness easing away, until the whole of you is warm and heavy and deeply, completely at rest. And let your breath go slow now, slower than it has gone all night, as slow and as deep as the breathing of the dreaming trees. There is no hurry here, there is no time here at all, only the long, warm, endless moment of the velvet hour stretching out around you, soft and dim and still. Breathe in the sweet, warm air of the sleeping garden, slowly, all the way down, and let it fill you with the old, warm safety of summer evenings long ago, and breathe it slowly out, longer than you breathed it in, and feel a little more of yourself soften and sink with every breath you let go. There is nothing for your breath to do here but slow, nothing for it to carry, nothing for it to hurry toward, only the slow, sweet rhythm of rest, in and out, like the slow breathing of the sea you left behind. Let each breath out be a little longer than the last, and let each one sink you a little deeper into the cool grass and the warm dark. You are so warm now, and so heavy, and so deeply at ease, sunk down into the soft, cool grass among the sleeping flowers, that there is nothing left in all the world that you must do. The garden holds you. The warm dark holds you. The whole soft, drowsy night holds you, and asks of you only this, that you rest. There is no story now to keep you, no thread to follow, no question to turn over in the dark, nothing at all that wants any part of you. Only the warm garden and the deep grass and the slow, sweet sinking towards sleep. You have done everything the night asked of you. You have come all this long way, down through the tales, and the soft sounds, and the warm dark, and now there is nothing left but to be held. So let yourself be held completely, the way the grass holds you, and the warm air holds you, and the whole sleeping garden holds you, and let the last of your wakefulness sink away into the warm, dark earth. And if any small thought should drift through you now, any last fragment of the day, or the story, or the world, let it drift on past, like a leaf on still water, and let it go. You need not catch it, need not follow it, need not hold on to anything at all, for here there is nothing to hold and nothing to keep. Watch it drift across the still, dark pool of your quiet mind, that small last thought, and watch it reach the far edge, and watch it slip away, gone, leaving the water smooth and dark and still again. There will always be another, perhaps another small thought drifting up, and you may let each one go the same gentle way, watching it drift and slip away, asking nothing of it, keeping none of it. Soon enough they slow, the drifting thoughts, and come less often, and grow fainter, until the still dark pool of your mind lies smooth and quiet and unbroken, holding only the dim, soft light of the velvet hour. There is nothing left to think now, and nothing left to do, only to lie in the deep, cool grass and let the stillness have you. Feel how the garden has gathered you into its great soft hush, how you have become one more sleeping thing among the sleeping flowers and the dreaming trees. You are no different now from the closed roses in their dim beds, no different from the birds asleep in the branches, no different from the still dark water lying quiet in the grass, all of you at rest together in the warm dark. There is a deep comfort in that, in being one small sleeping thing among so many, held all together in the same warm windless calm, the same soft dim light, the same belong to it completely now. Let yourself be simply one more sleeping thing in the warm dark, with nothing to do, and nowhere to be, and no self left to hold up. Only rest, only the long, warm hush of the sleeping garden. The silver thread that led you through all the tales of the night lies quiet now, coiled soft and warm beside you in the grass. Its work done for the night, leading nowhere at all. You need not follow it now, need not feel its gentle pull, need not wonder where it goes. For tonight it goes nowhere. It only rests beside you, warm and still, the way you rest. It glows softly there in the cool grass, a fine warm line of pale light, dimmer now and gentler, no longer drawing you onward, but only keeping you quiet company in the warm dark. Let it rest beside you, the silver thread, its long night's leading finished, its gentle work all done, coiled warm and quiet in the grass at your side. There is nowhere left for it to lead you tonight but down, only down, into the warm, deep stillness of sleep, and it will rest there beside you all the while, soft and warm and dim, keeping you company in the dark. The deepest part of the garden is the deepest part of the night, and you have come all the way down into it now, into the warm, still heart of the velvet hour. Here time has gone entirely still, the way the air has gone still, and the water has gone still, and the trees have gone still, all of it held in one long, warm, windless calm. There is no morning here yet, and no thought of morning, no hour that must come next, no time at all, only the endless warm present of the deep night, holding you soft and safe. You could rest here forever, it seems, in the warm, still heart of the garden, with no day to rise to and no thing to wake for, only the long, warm hush stretching on and on around you. And so, you let yourself rest as though forever, with no edge to your resting, no end to it, no morning pressing at it, only the deep, warm, endless stillness of the garden of quiet, holding you all the way down. So sink now, the rest of the way down, as deep and as soft and as sweet as you have ever sunk. Let the warm dark close gently over you, the way still water closes over a stone slipping down into the deep, slow and soft and complete. Let the garden of quiet keep you through the long, warm night, among the sleeping flowers and the dreaming trees, beside the still, dark pool, held in the deep, cool grass, wrapped in the soft, endless hush of the velvet hour. You are warm, and you are heavy, and you are held, and there is nothing left in all the world for you to do but let go the last small thread of waking and sink the rest of the way into sleep. There is nothing left now but rest, deep and warm and dreamless, the rest you came all this long way to find. Sleep now, sleep deep, sleep all the way down to the warm, still bottom of the night. And now I will leave you to your rest, the way I always do, with my voice growing softer and softer until it fades into the warm dark and is gone. You have come a long way tonight, down through the tales and the nature sounds and the garden of quiet, all the way to the soft, still bottom of sleep, and you have done it beautifully, and there is nothing left for you to do at all. Sleep as long and as deep as you like. The velvet hour will keep you safe until morning. If you found rest here tonight, then know that there are many more nights like this one waiting for you. There are other tales in this little world of mine, other threads to follow down into sleep, a whole quiet library of them gathered together in one place, and you will find them all on my profile whenever you should wish to return. You might follow along if you like, so the next night finds its way to you easily, and so you never have to go searching in the dark for somewhere soft to rest. is only sleep, and the warm dark, and the soft, endless hush of the velvet hour holding you close until the morning comes. Rest well, rest deep, and whenever you are ready, on whatever night you need a soft place to land, I will be here, waiting, with another quiet story to carry you home. Good night, and sweet dreams, and sleep all the way down. I will see you again in the velvet hour.